You might want to turn around the other way. Good afternoon, good evening. We welcome each and every one. And before I continue, I want to say Happy New Year 2025 as we're starting our webinar on Deep Dive. And we have some very nice, lovely nuggets for you. And we're glad you're here and watching us either live here with us or on YouTube. This webinar now with a lovely tune, In It to Win It, by one of our global ambassadors in the name of Lerato Shadare. And Dr. Derek took a lot of time to put together nonverbal communication images that explains what the song is all about regarding ONPASSIVE. Thank you so much once more for joining us tonight. And I'm going to pass the microphone over to Dr. Derek to do what he does best, In It to Win It. Thank you, Dr. Derek.
We are here Your next stop is ONPASSIVE.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Thank you very much, Dr. Derek. Yes, everyone, once more, Happy New Year. Yes, we definitely are in it to win it. This is a new year, a new face, and we're seeing a new face on this platform today. A face that we've seen in the past. 2025 has so much for us, and we should all be grateful. We all have different feelings, different looks. We have different goals and aspirations as this year has started. And we're going to start with a mindset. We have a special speaker, so please stay tuned and send messages to your friends, our sisters and queens and kings who normally are here with us, who have missed or are running late, that we have a special speaker who is here with us today. And we're going to start with the mindset. So they better make sure they join to hear the mindset, which will get us ready to hear what our special speaker has to share. So our mindset speaker today is our one and only uh, Queen Dr. T. He looks different in 2025, and I'm so proud to see the different looks. That's a different mindset. I don't want to know what she has to share with us. She sure does look different compared to 2024. Happy New Year, Dr. T. Dr. T is going to share with us about understanding and fulfilling our destiny in 2025 and the steps to walking in your purpose. Dr. T is our wonderful international transformational speaker. She's our empowerment trainer, a life coach, and a TV talk show host. And she has published 4 books. In addition to that, she's also the editor and chief of Discovering You magazine. So, and she has, you can subscribe to any of those things for free. But in the interim, please, let's listen to our sister Queen Dr. T for her first mindset with us in 2025. Over to you, Dr. T.
Happy New Year to all of you. Blessings, prosperity, peace of mind, and fulfillment in every area of your lives. That's my proclamation for all of you. And I wish all of you will fulfill it in this year. For the last several weeks, I have been saying that 2025 is the year of fulfillment. It is the year that things are going to turn around. It is the year of breakthrough. It is the year for realizing how you can become the best version of yourself. And I really, really mean that from every fiber of my heart. And tonight's message is a message of exhortation. It's going to be a little different than I normally do it because I'm going to be using scriptures. It's really a spiritual message, which I believe is very befitting to start the new year off. So I hope that you'll be willing to go on this journey with me as we explore understanding and fulfilling your destiny for the year of 2025. It is so important that we understand why it's important to fulfill and understand our destiny. The first thing you may say, well, Dr. T, what is destiny? Destiny is a path and a journey that's unique for your life only. Destiny is that CPS that leads directly to where you're supposed to go in your life. Your life journey is not my life journey. Your destiny is not my destiny. So it's unique only for you. It took place when you were conceived in your mother's womb. It took place when you took your first breath. It took place when God looked at you and said, you're a good thing. He said, I'm pleased. It doesn't matter the circumstances in which you were born. It doesn't matter who your birth parents are. All that doesn't matter. What matters is that when God saw you, that you were fearfully and you were wonderfully made, And he said, when he pronounced your birth, that you have greatness inside of you. Unfortunately, though, many people didn't realize that, so they may have gone on a different path. They got off of the road for their destiny. But right now, I am believing right now that those of you who are under the sound of my voice, those on this platform, and those who may be watching on YouTube, that this particular will prick your heart. And this message encourage you to stay in the race, no matter what you've gone through, no matter what you're facing. Oh, 25, you will win. Why? Because God said you will win. And I want to take you through some steps to walking in your purpose. Now, all of you know I have a definition for purpose. Purpose, a divine and deliberate mandate from God that glorifies Him, justifies why you are taking up space on this earth, and it serves mankind. Let me say again, purpose, a divine and deliberate mandate. That means divine means it comes from God. Deliberate means that he took the time to think this thing out. You're not an oops, okay? And it's deliberate and it's divine, and that means that it's a mandate. That means he put his stamp of approval on your life. It is finished. He already has your story written from beginning to end. That makes it a mandate. And because you're on this, or because you're here, your purpose is to glorify him. And then it's going to justify why you are taking up space on this earth. And whatever you're doing for God, it's going to serve mankind. So that's why it's so important that you get a hold of the message. That's why it's so important to me that when I wrote this out, it was so dear to my heart because I want to walk this every single day of my life, even going forward. And I want you to make up in your mind, to purpose in your heart, that you're going to do the same. So the first thing I want to share with you right now, the very important thing I want to share, is it doesn't matter what 2024 looked like. It doesn't matter. Your destiny is not a spillover of your past. What does that mean, Dr. T? That means that whatever happened in 24, I don't care if it may have been a death in your life, it may have been sickness and disease, you may have gone through some financial challenges, you may have had relationship issues, whatever that may have been, that is not going to dictate where God wants to take you in 2024. Isaiah 43:16, verses 18 through 2019 says, this is what the Lord says. This is what the Lord says. Hold on for a minute, I'm sorry. This is somebody from ONPASSIVE calling me. They should know I'm online. I apologize. Somebody's calling me from ONPASSIVE. They should know that I'm speaking. I apologize for that. I apologize for that. Let me take this off. Okay. Isaiah 43:16, 18 through 19. This is what the Lord says. Who made a way through the sea of pain. He said, forget the former things. Forget the former things. Do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing. Do you not perceive it? You should be able to feel right now as you cross over to 2025. You should be able to perceive that something's getting ready to break. There's going to be a breakthrough coming into your life. In Isaiah 43:16, 18 through 19, it just clarifies that. This is what he says. He made a way through the sea. He made a path through the waters. He's telling you to forget those things in 2024. We're not there anymore. Do not dwell on the past. Because I'm doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness and a stream in the wasteland. It's for you. This is a word for you. This should be very encouraging to each and every one of you to know whatever you have gone through in 2024, God is getting you to do a new thing. He is saying, leave that past life behind. Not there. He's not holding it against you. What he's put you through, let it stay there. Let the dead bury the dead. Let the bad things stay in the past. And when you remember that, you'll be well on your way to walking in your destiny. And again, and the other thing is no matter how misdirected you were in 2024, seek divine direction from God. This is so important. I am on a journey right now where everything I do, I want to seek God's face. I don't want to be a lone ranger. I need his help. And that's what all of you should be. One of my favorite scriptures that I've quoted to you all many times when I've spoken is Proverbs 3. Trust in the Lord all our heart and lean not unto your own understanding, but in all thy ways to acknowledge him, and he will make your path straight. Trust in the Lord. What does that mean? That means that you're going to put everything you have in him, because why? He is the one who designed your destiny. He's the one who breathed life into your life, your body, when you were a baby. He's the one that pronounced who you're going to be, how you're going to be it, where you're going. He's the one who designed that. So wouldn't it make sense for you to put your direction and your trust in someone who understands where you're going, because he's the one who created it? So he's saying, don't lean to your intellect. Pretend like you don't know anything. That may be somebody. I'm a very intelligent person. I want you to pretend like you don't know anything. And I want you to make sure you understand that when God is leading, he will always make sure that you where you're supposed to be. And I believe that many people get all caught up and they try to rely on their own understanding. The word of God tells us that many are the plans in the mind of a man, but only the purpose of the Lord will be fulfilled. There's that word again, purpose. Many are the plans in the mind of a man, but only the purpose of the Lord will be fulfilled. I told you this is going to be a little different, this message this time, because I really believe that we need to be on a spiritual journey. If we're going to get through 2025, if we're going to truly accomplish those things that we've been ordained to do, that mandate, that we have to make God the captain of our ship. We need to put him front and center in everything that we do. And one of the ways to do that is by starting to fast and pray. Incorporate fasting and praying in your life. Right now, many people starting off the new year, a lot of spiritual institutions have started fasting. It could be a 1-day fast. It could be a weekly fast. It could be a 21-day fast, a 40-day, whatever you believe God is leading you. But when you fast, what you're doing, you're surrendering your total being over to God. You're telling God that I want to be detoxified. I want you to get rid of all the toxins in my life and my emotions, spiritually, psychologically, my body. I surrender it to you when you fast. When you fast, you're telling God that I'm making you in charge. You're giving up something. You're making a sacrifice. And fasting doesn't have to just be food. Fasting might be, for some of you, it might be social media. Some of you are on that phone all the time. You're on your phone, going through social media, Facebook, TikTok, all the time. Some of you, it might be your YouTube. Some of you, it might be television, soap operas. And let's get down to the nitty gritty. Some of you might be alcohol. Yes, I said it. Dr. T said that. Smoking, whatever it might be, recreational drugs, whatever it might be. Give up those habits, because if you really want to fulfill your destiny, you're going to have to make a sacrifice, because he made the ultimate sacrifice. What are we going to give him in return? Many of you already know that when you went 2024, it may have been very, very horrific for you. And you're saying to yourself, I've got to do things differently if I want different results. If you want different results, then you have to start on this spiritual journey. There's no way of getting around it. Yes, Dr. T said that. You say, are you preaching to us now, Dr. T? Yes, I am. I'm preaching to you right now. If you want to be successful and discover who you truly are and to walk your destiny, You've got to make this a spiritual journey. There is no way around it. And I've discovered that because I'm tired of being tired. I don't know about you. I'm tired of facing the same challenges and trying to figure out what I did wrong. You know why? Because it's going to stop with me. And I believe that many of you are in that same place where you're going to say it's going to stop with you. So what you're going to do is you're going to incorporate God. And that's going to start by fasting, surrendering, giving up, because you want to detoxify your life in every single area. And in life, I've said this before, make God the first part of your life. Every morning between 3 and 5, God wakes me up. I'm not being braggadocious. I say it with humility. And I look forward to spending that time with God. I look forward to checking in to find what my Heavenly Father and my Savior are asking me to do. It's a cleansing for me. It's a connection for me. And that way, when I get ready to start my day, I know that I have started my day off right. If you're going to be successful, and if you're going to fulfill what God has called you to do in this, I don't care if it's on passive, your personal business, your personal life, relationships, whatever, your health issues, whatever it is, you've got to spend that time with God. You've got to give him a fast. And like I said, fasting does not mean you have to give up food necessarily, but it does mean that you have to give him something that you can try to hold on to. That means it's a sacrifice. That means that you want to just let it go, whatever that is. And you know what it is. You know what that is. You know what you've been holding on to. You know what you don't want to give up. That very thing that you don't want to give up is the very thing that you need to fast. The very thing that you need to fast. And I implore you to please take heed. Because if we're going to go forth, if we're going to satisfy God, if we're going to experience that new thing, if we're going to be able to perceive and be able to engulf what God has, we are going to have to make that sacrifice. And the only way I know how to do that is to go fast and increase our prayer life. And the next thing you have to do is to get rid of the clutter and unwanted items in your house. And I mean that literally. I'm talking about your physical house where you live. Some of you may be very clean and meticulous, but there might be a room or somewhere around your house where there's nothing but clutter. And you know that. You got clothes piled up and need to be washed. You might have a room off center somewhere where you may have in your room where you have things that just spill over. You need to declutter that. Declutter that. Your kitchen, wherever it may be, start throwing those things that you're not going to use. Give them away, throw them away. I don't know about you, but I'm the kind of person that if I have a lot of clutter around me, I can't think. I don't feel well. It literally makes me feel sick when there's a lot of clutter. And if you're anything like me, you feel the same way. So this is the time to start decluttering your physical house, your spiritual house, your physical house. It's the time to declutter your social house, things that are around you, people that might be in your life that you know that you need to just put them at arm's length. I'm not saying don't love them, but put them at arm's length right now. Say, look, you're not going where I'm going. You can't go with me on this journey. I love you, but right now I've got to focus on what God has called me to do. So it's time for us to declutter our lives in every area of our lives. Because when we do that, what you're telling God is that, yes, I'm surrendering. I see where you're trying to take me. And there's certain things that are hindering me from being the best I can be. If it's your physical house, if it's the way you eat, if it's relationships that you need to let go of, then start doing that. Again, you cannot 2024 and expect to get results differently in 2025. So if decluttering is one of the areas that you know you need to work on, just start working on that. It's never too late. Start your spring cleaning now. Don't procrastinate in that area because God has started. When we crossed over to 2025, God began to pronounce what He wants you to do. You have to go on that journey with Him, but you've got to be ready. He's not going to wait on you. He's not waiting around for you to get yourself together because He's already made that mandate. He's already pronounced it. So you've got to grab arm in arm with him and walk this journey with him, but you've got to be ready. In order for you to be ready, you've got to start decluttering your life. And when you declutter your life, after you've done that, and think about that very seriously, it's time for you to purpose in your heart, to utilize your talents and abilities to glorify God and become a service to others. That's that last part of purpose. Remember, now it's time for you to utilize your gifts and your talents and your abilities to glorify God and to make sure that you use your gifts, abilities, and talents to serve mankind. 1 Peter 4:10 says, as each has received a gift, use it to serve one another as God steward, as good stewards of God's very grace. In other words, he gives us all the grace to use the abilities, the talents that he's been given us so that we can go out there and glorify him and serve mankind. God calls all of us to do something great, do something greater than yourself. But the gifts and the callings, they come, and we're supposed to utilize them. We're supposed to focus on what God has put in our hand. Remember that sermon I preached a long time ago? It was a sermon. It was called "What Do You Have in Your Hand?" What you have in your hand is the tool that God is going to use for you to realize your purpose and walk in your destiny. So, purpose in your heart to utilize the gifts, the talents, and abilities that will glorify God and to serve others. And I believe that when you do these 5 things, I mentioned 5 things for you. I didn't number them, but I mentioned them. When you begin to do this, I believe that you will begin to walk in your purpose. So they are, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to don't look at the past. Don't look at the past. And understand that your destiny is not a spillover of your past. Look forward. Have blinders on your eyes and stay focused. Secondly, do not become misdirected by what happened in 2024. Seek divine direction from God. Thirdly, start your year off with fasting and praying. The fourth thing is to declutter your life. Get rid of the things in your life that bring clutter. And then the last thing is that you want to do is to utilize your gifts, your talents, and your abilities that's going to glorify God and serve mankind. This is part 1, ladies and gentlemen, of my message. I'll be bringing part 2 when I see you again. But I believe when you start to apply already shared, then you'll be well on your way to stepping and walking in your purpose and understanding and fulfilling your destiny. My name is Dr. T, and thank you so much for allowing me to share. Happy New Year to all of you. Peace, blessings, and much love, as Dr. Derek would say. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you so much, Dr. T. Thank you, and Happy New Year to you once more. Wow, those 5 points for the beginning of 2025 are outstanding, and we're looking forward to the next 5 when you come. But for now, I'll just say, let's not forget about destiny, seeking direct fasting, declutter, and utilizing the abilities that we've been born with. We were born with abilities, some gifts. Some of them we tap into, others we choose to ignore, and we just let it lay dormant. We're very smart. I don't even think we use up to 10% of our brain. And for some unknown reason, we do not. But imagine if we were to use up to 50% of our brain, what will do to us and our loved ones and those that we've happened to touch in our immediate lives. So I'm not going to preach anything any further. I see a hand up. Queen Tony, please over to you.
Excellent presentation as always. And I love those points because they direct us in keeping focused and having in our sights, you know, our destiny and whatever purpose that God has for us. I know in my own experience with fasting, I learned years ago that to go on a 40-day fast, the whole premise of that is to find out what God's purpose is for your life. And it was a very interesting experience because I found out a lot about myself, reflected on things that I needed to change, and things that I would have to incorporate in my life. And I think that was a really, really great presentation in direction, and forgetting those things that are behind us. And um you know I have a sometimes I have a problem with thinking about what happened in the past, and it can hinder us in pushing forward. So I appreciate what you had presented, Dr. T, as always. And I plan to keep that in the forefront of my mind in as I press forth in the purpose that God has for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Queen Tony. Thank you for your feedback. To call on Dr. Bennett to say something before I present our uh, guest speaker for the day. Dr. Bennett, Happy New Year, good evening, and welcome. Over to you,
My
please.
goodness. Let me just say, Happy New Year 2025. Well, I believe that this year is going to be better than 2024. I believe that this year, a lot of us will be happy. But before I proceed, I want to take this special moment to thank our Heavenly Father for bringing all of us together this evening, morning, or afternoon. It all depends upon your location. We are, right? Some people may not be smiling, they think differently, but seeing our brother, he's my own king, right? Brother Jeffrey here, I am excited. But I want to really thank our Queen Dr. T. Ford. Thank you so much for this amazing, should I say, mindset. You know, when you keep talking about God, it makes me happy. The reason is because He created you, all of us, in His image. And if you're in 2025 with God, it involves what? Like this, huh? And embracing what? A breath of spiritual understanding. It is also embracing God's vision, becoming what? Essential for deep our faith. Need to know that result, no matter what is transpiring or what transpired last year, things are going to change. You guys know that, right? Let's say you fruitful. Wouldn't you want to do everything to stand? How does a child begin? When the child at birth, you deliver that baby, pretty soon that baby is eating or whatever, then the baby start crawling, and then the baby stands. So if you fall, you will still stand up, right? God is with us no matter what is happening. On passive, you cannot, as our CEO make us to understand, no one can stop on passive. Nobody. No matter what I'm hearing out there, people are saying a lot of nonsense just to make money from YouTube channels. But it's not going to work out because our God owns this company. People don't know that. He chose Mr. Ash Mofarel. That is why he's determined and he's working behind the scene. Do you guys know that? He is coming. He came here before the ending of the year, right? To make us to understand that things are coming. Unpassive is everything to us. Now it's also reflect what? A call of self-awareness, the purpose-driven living, the activities working towards the goals of the vision that will align with your lives. True calling, right? It is about what? Recognizing your what? Your unique roles in involving the world, leverage opportunities, and what? Taking the meaningful step towards the personal and collective growth. I would say astonishing mindset. My Dr. T. Ford, I love you.
Thank you.
Why do I love you? Because you love God. That's all.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you all. Love each and everyone. Hey, remember, hey, Queen Debbie, you know something? There is one lady who always said, did anybody say I love you today or this evening? And guess what? Queen Larato. He said, if nobody say I love you, this evening I'll say, the Benny loves each and everyone, but God loves you more. Thank you so much, Queen Debbie, for giving me this opportunity to voice out my opinion. Welcome, King Jeffrey Morlock.
Thank you, Dr. Benny. I appreciate it. So I'll say out with the old and in with the new. So for 2025, we're starting with the new by sharing what we know is trendy with us in our lives. And 25 is a different number, and 24 is a different number. So I'm just going to move forward to 25. And today, for 2025, we have our brother Jeffrey Morlock. He does not need any introduction, and he has a very unique topic that, I mean, he's shared with us before, but today it's a unique topic that he's sharing about herbs and spices. And it is a global journey because that is a global thing to health and flavor. So we do not need to introduce him. We know who he is. He's been patiently listening to us for the past 45 minutes. So it's about time we give him the opportunity to hear his voice so he does not go mute for the night. Brother Jeffrey, he is one of those people when I joined ONPASSIVE, I listened to everything that he had to say on the ONPASSIVE website and his ebook. And he has, if you look at the flyer today, his latest update is there. Believe me or not. So please, I urge you to click on that link and maybe Dr. Derek can find a way to post it again in the chat for those of us who might not have had the opportunity to notice it. You'll get it from the chat when Dr. Derek gets a chance to put it there. So I don't want to steal anything away. See, Dr. Derek works like a machine. He already did. Oh, you know why we're healthy is because of what we put into our bodies. And we are not specialists in that. But for those who have spent so much time, including our brother Jeffrey, doing research and from experience, please let's welcome brother Jeffrey Morlock. His first presentation with us on this platform about herbs and spices. And I hope you can come back next time in 2 weeks on a Thursday. And every other Thursday, would love to welcome you talk to us about healthy eating. Over to you, brother Jeffrey, and thank you for giving us your time.
You guys are you're too good to me. Too good to me. I appreciate everything. I really, you're right. It's a little bit of a different topic. But you know what? I am thrilled to be here tonight. It was very good talking to you, Deb. Thank you so very, very much for inviting me. And thank you to everybody that works on this particular platform. I think that it carries forward into the new year a very needed service for a lot of people. We have lots of webinars that are going on a lot of the times, and you guys have got a niche, and other people have got a niche, and all of us together get us communicating, and that's what it's all about. So thank you so much. I certainly appreciate that. Going into here, we have really, we've got a lot of things happening. Speaking, at in the macro levels, in every system on the planet, in every My personal belief is that there's a lot here than we were probably ever led to believe, but I have no doubt that if we follow our this is on hold right in front of us, as Dr. Ford has indicated. So thank you, Dr. Ford. I appreciate that message of that very message. A lot of good little gold nuggets in there that we can use to develop a life way. I think a lot of people are. Uh, Getting started, I would like to say, hey, I hope everybody's had a wonderful or an excellent start to a brand new year. Um, I also hope that as we work our way through this webinar this evening, that we're going to find out that the topic not only covers the health benefits aspect of some herbs and spices, but that we have some fun, and we just kind of look at things from a global perspective. And I hope that it also serves as a touch point, if you will, to celebrate the rich cultural heritage that the herbs and spices are all part of. Um, every culture on earth uses herbs and spices. We couldn't get away from it if you wanted to. And that makes it a very great topic for a global audience like this one, because our conversations start with something that we all have in common, and that's the name of the game. You're going to hear people say we're now in the age of the oligarchs. Quite simply, it means that the people that we put in elected positions aren't the ones running. There's people up there above them, and they're pulling all the strings. And our way around that and fixing that is what we're doing right here. And that's when we start communicating with each other globally, and we make a good time of it. And I think that this platform has done that. I think this is a great way for us to talk and to get conversations started. Um, we've all got herbs and spices in common, and that means that we can be on a global journey to health and flavor and all that good stuff. So, anyway, we've been doing that for a while. Obviously, all of us have been with OnPassive for a while, and we've been talking not only in this group but other groups. Um, but the use of herbs and spices in cooking, now that could be traced back to, man, ancient civilizations, right, where they were highly valued, not only for the medicinal properties but for their ability to seemingly transform simple ingredients into phenomenal meals, extraordinary meals, right? In fact, the trade of spices was so lucrative back then that it sparked what we call the age of exploration, with explorers that would venture out, going to distant lands, faraway places, in search of these very precious commodities. I'll put it that way. And one of the most well-known examples of the cultural significance of herbs and spices is probably found in the Indian cuisine. Now, Indian food is renowned for its complex flavors, vibrant colors. I mean, if you've ever looked at it, it's I mean, it's just reds and greens and browns, and it's something to look at, right? Well, these colors are achieved through a skillful use of a variety or an array of spices like turmeric, cumin, coriander, uh, cardamom. Those spices seem to add depth and complexity to their dishes, but at some point, some of these even hold symbolic meaning in the Indian culture. For example, turmeric, it's considered to bring success, and it's often used in religious ceremonies and festivals. Um, Similarly, in Thailand, right, in Thai cuisine, herbs and spices play a rather crucial role in creating some very distinct flavors that make it very popular. Thai food is very popular worldwide. It's known for a balance of sweet, sour, spicy, and salty, which all are different. When you put those together, well, they've achieved uh, some pretty cool things through the use of ingredients like lemongrass and galangal and kaffir lime leaves, Thai chilies. Um, Herbs and spices are not only used for their taste, but also for medicinal properties, the benefits, health benefits. A lot of them are believed to have good benefits, healing effects on the body. If you jump over to the Middle East, we find a region there that the herbs and spices have really, really deep cultural roots. In countries like Morocco, Lebanon, spices like cinnamon and cumin and saffron are used to create rich and very aromatic or fragrant flavors that are characteristic of, Middle Eastern cuisine. And these spices are often used in traditional dishes like the tangines, kebabs, and they're deeply ingrained in the culinary traditions of that region as well, like it is in a lot of other regions. In Latin America, for instance, herbs and spices also hold a very special place in their hearts and minds and their palates. From fiery flavors like the Mexican cuisine, where they use a lot of chili peppers and cilantro, to the very wonderful smelling spices used in the Peruvian ceviche, such as ají amarillo, rocado peppers, things like that. Latin American cuisine is also, well, I'd hesitate to say it celebrates, but it's full of bold, vibrant flavors. These herbs and spices that not only add heat and depth to their dishes, but they also reflect diverse cultural heritage of that region as well. Now, all these regions I've been talking about, it goes just to point out that we've all got this in common, and it makes a good point for us to be able to share and to talk and to look at these things uh, the globe over. I mean, if we look at Africa, right? Herbs and spices in Africa, where they played a very significant role in the culture and the cuisine for thousands of years. I mean, ancient Egyptians used them, spices like caraway and coriander, fennel, garlic, mint, uh, peppermint, and poppy in a medicinal sense for healing and for uh, medicine. They used them for embalming too, which I know that sounds kind of strange, but it works. There's spices for that. Spices like the cardamom and the cinnamon from Ethiopia, also very popular there. During biblical times, spices were used for fragrant skin treatments, perfumes, religious practices. The spice trade routes, as a matter of fact, the routes across Africa, that they allowed for the exchange of goods, including precious spices. The Arab traders introduced new spices like cardamom and coriander to the local populations. The Portuguese, they had explorers that arrived in Africa somewhere in the 15th century, and they added to this spice repertoire, if you will, of the continent at the time by bringing chili peppers from the Americas. So there's a lot of stuff going on. When you look specifically at Morocco, I believe we've got people that are on this webinar that attend from Morocco, which is renowned for its rich aromatic cuisine. Is heavily reliant on various herbs and spices. Saffron is a good one. Moroccan cooking has saffron as a staple almost. It's prized uh, there more than other places, I think, although it is global. It's got a very vibrant color, unique flavor, and I guess specifically Moroccan make like a saffron chicken. Uh, when you look at, there's a dish or a spice blend that's called Ras Hel Hanout, and it's a that that translates to mean head of the shop. So it's your boss. It's a mixture of like a dozen different spices, including paprika and cardamom and cinnamon and cumin and clove and turmeric, just a bunch of spices. They also use a lot of black pepper in what they do in Morocco. Um, when you look at uh, Moroccan cuisine, it seems to be a fusion of flavors that were influenced by Arab, Mediterranean, Spanish, and French cuisines. The liberal use of spices in their dishes makes it rather rich, flavorful, zesty, if you will. They make a lot of side dishes like that. So we're going to go over some specific herbs and specific places, simply because this platform, I asked Deborah, what is the reach of this platform? And I was amazed when she came back with how many countries are represented on this platform and the people from those countries that all meet here. Obviously, we have India. India is very known for using turmeric. It's used in curries. It's a coloring agent in dishes like biryani. This has got anti-inflammatory properties and it's believed to improve digestion. They also use a lot of cumin. That's a common blend, or it's a common spice in blends, right? Aids digestion. It also has antioxidant properties. They use cardamom. That's been used for a long, long time in sweets and savory dishes, helps with digestion, and it has antimicrobial properties. So there's a lot going on. Now, there is a particular spice blend there. It's called garam masala, and it's considered very typical, widely used. It's a blend in India. Almost every household has their variation of it. It's based on regional preferences, personal tastes, typically made from a combination of cinnamon and cloves, cardamom, cumin, coriander. You've heard these before, nutmeg, mace, peppercorns, and there's a bunch of them. And they're kind of mixed up a little differently depending on your region. We talked a little earlier about Thailand. Curries has anti-inflammatory antioxidant properties. Galangal, which is similar to ginger, it's used in soups and curries. Again, anti-inflammatory, and it has digestive benefits. They also use, I think I mentioned kaffir, lime leaves. These are also used in curries and soups. They have antimicrobial properties, aid in digestion. There's a common spice used there. Thinking, what's the name of that one? Sampler. That's it. Sampler. R's, two words, but it translates to three companions, and because it typically consists of three ingredients that are ground together as a base for a lot of other dishes. Typically, it's garlic, coriander, and black pepper, uh, considered a staple in Thai food. Morocco, cinnamon, used in the canned desserts and helps. Cinnamon is really cool. It's used for a lot of things actually, and can help regulate blood sugar levels. Has antioxidant properties. People in spice blends for inflammation properties. They use oregano, used in pizza and in pastas, sauces, antimicrobial, antioxidant properties. Rosemary, they use that in roasted meats and vegetables, improves digestion. Again, antioxidant properties. So these things are good for you. I thought this was kind of funny when I was looking at it, and I thought, well, what's a typical Italian blend of herbs? Well, believe it or not, there's a typical blend, and it's called Italian seasoning. I thought it was kind of funny. It typically includes basil, oregano, rosemary, thyme, sage, marjoram, a few other things. Garlic, if you want to slap it in there, coriander, fresh pepper sometimes. Again, it's however you want to make it. The Japanese use wasabi. They use this in their sushi. It has antimicrobial properties, aids in digestion. Shiso, which is used in sashimi and salads, again, antioxidant properties, aids in food digestion. Miso is used in soups. It has probiotic properties. And there's one called sashimi, and that's a Japanese blend that typically contains 7 other spices, kind of warms things up. There's Japanese sansho pepper in it, and roasted citrus peel, and black and white sesame seeds, ginger, even seaweed. In the U.S., I mean, we love to eat over here. We typically use things like rosemary, use it on meats and vegetables, improves digestion, antioxidant properties. Sage, as a matter of fact, Simon and Garfunkel had that song. Remember, rosemary, sage, rosemary, and thyme. Um, that's common in soups and stews and roasted dishes. The thyme actually supports respiratory health, has antimicrobial properties. Of course, an all-American spice that you could, if you could call it that, typically would include something like cumin and cayenne pepper, onion, paprika, garlic, coriander, and again, an allspice. As a matter of fact, there's an allspice that's a true herb, but there's also a blend called allspice that gets used a lot. Um, if you look at Togo, right, African basil is used in soups and stews, antibacterial, anti-inflammatory. They've also got a clove basil. They put that in sauces and teas. Again, antioxidants, antimicrobial, nutmeg, makes it in spice mixes and desserts, aids digestion, helps with inflammation. There's a typical one in Togo that's called the pepe soup, and it usually has ingredients of ginger and garlic and onion powder, cumin, coriander, cayenne pepper, paprika, black pepper. I mean, it's a whole smorgasbord of good stuff. Moving into Cameroon, because I know we have people here from Cameroon, right? They've got what's called grains of paradise, and that's used in spice blends and soups, digestive benefits, anti-inflammatory properties. The Mbongo spice, they put that in stews and soups as well. Same thing, antimicrobial, antioxidants. There's one called Perquise that's used in soups and beverages, has antioxidants and helps with swelling. So, I mean, as you can see, we go through all these. They are used a great many ways for for a lot of different things. Jamaica, even pimento, which is allspice, used in jerk seasoning, which is also a blend. Jerk seasoning is a blend of spices. It's used in stews, antimicrobial properties. Scotch bonnet peppers, anti-inflammatories, boost metabolism. We talked about thyme. Uh, Canada. I mean, I could keep going on, but what I'm saying is that there are so many, just so many spices and so many herbs and so many ways to put them together and ways to use them, but everybody does. And as we've seen, combining herbs and spices, they can really create quite a powerful combination, gives you more flavor, more nutrition, more health benefits than any would do certainly on their own. Benefits that I might add that are supported by a whole host of scientific evidence. Uh, as we've seen, the properties for them, when combined, they help with overall health, our health, and they just taste good and they're fun to mess with. Now, specifically, if you wanted to know about anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties, you'd want to look at turmeric, cinnamon, and ginger. These compounds actually contain what was it? I think it was the study. I think it was a journal of nutrition found that these spices reduce inflammation and oxidative stress, which is linked to chronic diseases like arthritis and heart disease. When you look at something for health of your digestive tract, you'd want to look at peppermint, ginger, and cardamom because these are known for their digestive benefits. Peppermint oil can significantly reduce symptoms of irritable bowel syndrome. Ginger and cardamom help to alleviate nausea and also improve digestion. If you're looking for something for heart health, go to garlic, cinnamon, and turmeric. Garlic, excuse me, contains a compound called allicin, which can lower blood pressure and improve cholesterol. Cinnamon helps to regulate blood sugar levels. Turmeric's uh, The compound in it, which is curcumin, kind of weird, but it reduces inflammation, and every one of them, they make us healthier. Immune support, you're looking at turmeric and ginger and garlic. These spices all have immune boosting properties. Um, Metabolic health, right, for your blood and for your metabolism. You're looking at cinnamon and cardamom again, helps to regulate blood sugars, lowers blood pressure, increases or improves your metabolic health, and just overall, I mean, a combination of all the spices that we're talking about. Good variety of them. It provides a very holistic approach to your health, a better health, for all the reasons that we've been mentioning. So we just had a sampling of a lot of them, what they're about, where they're from, how they're used, that sort of thing. But in everyday life, how do you actually use these? Well, if you do breakfast in the morning, they can add a pinch of turmeric to your smoothie if you use a smoothie, right? Or put it on your scrambled eggs, give you a good health boost. Cinnamon, same thing. Put it in your oatmeal or your yogurt. If you're like me, you'd rather just have coffee. I mean, you could take and sprinkle cinnamon or cardamom or ginger or even cloves, and these are warm spices that actually complement black coffee. I like almond milk or oat milk in mine, but hey, I'm good to go. If you prefer something sweet and earthy, go with nutmeg. If you're looking for, I mean, if you're brave and you really want to do something, dump some cayenne pepper. Not dump, don't dump it in. Put a little cayenne pepper in your coffee because that's a metabolism booster. It's going to burn fat. It's also going to reduce appetite. So if you're looking to lose weight, that's a great way to start your day. Uh, for lunch, I mean, take some basil and oregano and slap that in some salads, on your sandwiches, on pasta dishes. Man, it's good stuff. On top of pizzas, right? Oh, good. Lemongrass, same thing. You can put it in soups and broths. If you're having a nice soup for lunch, it gives it a fresh, citrusy kind of a flavor. In the dinner time, if you're looking for something, you can just slap some garlic or ginger on stir fries or curries, roasted vegetables. I mean, I could keep on talking, but my guess is, you know what, we're getting pretty close to the 20 minutes. So the long story short, when we start looking at, excuse me, these things, you can actually mix and match them. You can experiment with combinations of these spices, putting them in marinades and rub, and you can discover new flavors. You can use fresh, concentrated. So, keep that in mind when you're using them. But overall, herbs and spices have been a very integral part of a global cuisine for centuries. They give us depth and flavor. They give us aroma to dishes from all corners of the world, and without them, we would probably be a little less uh, able to enjoy our food. And with them, we have a rich history, and there's a lot of cultural significance in that that has influenced how we eat today. And I'm gonna leave it right there. I don't know how long I've been talking, but it's probably long enough. And just say thank you. It's a pleasure to be here, and I hope some folks got some good stuff out of here. Thanks.
Wow, Brother Jeffrey, we got more than enough stuff, more than enough. And seriously, I think I'm going to reserve, if you would permit us to reserve Thursday, January 16th for you for continuation of this, because I know we have some of the regulars that we're missing today, and they'll feel missed out from you at the beginning of this year. But thank you so much, everyone. Wow, wow, wow. You just went an international, you gave us an international um travels on food and on spices. All the way, from north to south, everywhere.
Well, Deb, that's one of the reasons why, man, where do I go? when I started looking at some of the things that were happening within OnPassive, within our founder base, within the members, and we're kind of faltering, and we're looking for something in direction, and we're not sure what's going on with the company, and there's not a lot of great information. And I thought, there's got to be something that we can all kind of gravitate to, or talk about, that gets conversation, keeps us motivated, keeps us going, without having to talk about OnPassive corporate all the time, because the information that we'd like to share just isn't out there. It's a time right now where everything is kind of calm dark. We're going into a brand new year, and I thought, everybody does herbs and spices. Everybody eats, and the people I've met being with OnPassive, I mean, I'd be hard pressed to name a country on the planet that I don't know somebody that I want to go see in that country when I'm able to do it. And so that's why when you said, "Hey, can you talk about herbs?" I'm like, "Yeah, oh yeah." So thank you. I appreciate that.
We appreciate you too very much because I knew some of the spices, but most of them I did not. So your re-education is very enriching. We appreciate that
The
so
funny
much.
thing is, all the ones we've mentioned here, and I mentioned double mention, triple mention, some of them, because those are the mainstay. Those are ones that people use every day, and they're probably familiar with.
Hmm.
But the there's hundreds of herbs and spices. I mean, some that were just with crazy names and do crazy things and look crazy, and that's why I was telling, I think it was Dr. Derek, that book has got about 300 of them in it,
Wow.
and that information is available. And I'll be putting out videos. I think I've got the third one ready to go. I did the first 4 or 5 videos were infusions and marinades and tinctures and how to make those, so that when I started doing the actual spice and herb videos, and it says, "Oh yeah, you can make tinctures with this." Then you can go and you go, "Oh, that's how you make a tincture." You go get it and you make the tincture, or however you want to do it. But I plan on doing at least 200 of these videos alphabetically for all these herbs and spices. So if you ever get bored, just go to my YouTube and click on one.
Well, thank you so much for the offer. We definitely have been following you on YouTube, but we don't get bored listening to you live. So we hope you find the opportunity to come back to us live. So I know I see a hand up, and I'm going to pause for now and say if anyone has been making notes and you have questions for Brother Jeffrey, this is the right time to go ahead and ask your question so he can respond to you, please, regarding the presentation he made tonight. And I'll pass this over to Dr. Benny.
All right. I will say magnificent presentation. Before I come to you, let me call for Queen Antoinette. Please proceed.
That was a very interesting and informative presentation, and I love to cook. And I'm always telling Dr. T, I want to learn how to cook with herbs and spices so that it would add a little more pizzazz and uh, health and minerals and things that the body needs. And so, will your channel be covering some of that? What's best to use when you're cooking with chicken or poultry, beef, and all that others? I know we've been talking about
Yeah, when I cover,
I'm vegetarian, and my background is I was a vegetarian when I was 16 until I was 21. And since then, I love my meat along with, but I love vegetables above all too. Vegetables, and I'm not too much of a fruit eater, but I do try to include it in my diet. But going back to, will you be covering that on your channel? What best herbs and spices to use for different types of foods. We
You're
can't
muted.
hear
You're
you.
muted, Brother Jeffrey.
There we go. The short answer is yeah. The way that I do that is by listing health benefits and uses in diet. And when I'm talking about the uses in diet, it says, yeah, this is good on vegetables, or this is good with chicken, or this is how you do it. Or so I mean, it's the videos are short, they're packed full of good information, and you'll go away knowing I want that one or I don't want that one. And then if you need more information, I would just Google it because the information's out there. But what I've done is taken probably an hour worth of research and I condense it into a 5 or 8 minute video
Okay.
so that all the information you need in a snapshot is there. And I'm making the videos so that you can actually screenshot the PowerPoints because I start the video and I'm talking, but as soon as I get into talking about the herb or the spice, my picture goes away and all you see is a picture of the herb, the scientific information, a description, and then uses in diet. And so you could literally, if you wanted to, screenshot that, print it, and you can create your own cookbook or your own herbs and spices book. And that's kind of how I laid it out.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, Queen Antoinette. We appreciate you. And I will say Happy New Year again to you and your entire family. Does anyone have any question or any excitement? Come on now. He's talking about herbs and spices in your own country. Guess what? I was really shocked how he knew about all this, but it's because he did his research uh, about the international herbs and spices. I said, "Chai, from country to country? What?" Um, so I do understand that herbs and spices, they play an important role in the Bible as well, right? In the Bible, what it does is that it symbolizes the restoration and what? And the spiritual significance. And they were used in offering God's anointing, the ceremonies, and to represent qualities such as fragrance, purity, and the presence of our Heavenly Father. Yes, Brother Jeffrey, uh, not that I have a question, but you're talking about these herbs and spices. A lot of people don't really understand the importance of it. It is important for all of us to know, despite the fact that, yes, we are still waiting for what is going to transpire within our amazing company. Remember that when the time comes for you guys to start receiving these apples, when you know what to eat, to take good care of yourself, that is why it is better for you guys to come and attend deep dive. Brother Jeffrey came here. I believe you didn't know that we do have health. Every Thursdays we have it. You can come anytime and present. I don't care whether you come on Tuesdays or Thursdays. You have something that is going to be beneficial for us. Please come back. We need you here. Health is very important. I don't care what anyone says. If you don't take good care of yourself, how do you think you're going to enjoy that money? If you are a billionaire today and you enjoy with your health, to take care of health, how are you going to enjoy to make that money, to enjoy with that money, or to help other people? I just thank you so much. I call you king. You may not be king to other people, but you are my king. Brother Jeffrey Morlock, we appreciate you. We love you. I know that you have been attending other webinars and teaching them. Go ahead. Anybody, any webinar that needs you to come and teach us about these herbs. I didn't know you know about us in Cameroon. Jesus. In different countries? Are you serious?
And, oh, Dr. Benny,
Yes, sir.
If I may,
Yes, sir.
for those
Proceed.
folks that aren't really aware of how good these herbs and spices are, when you look at food additives today, when you go to the market and you buy foods, right, there's a lot of artificial sweeteners like aspartame, sucralose, saccharin. They have negative effects on metabolism and gut health. Now, how many of the herbs and spices that I mentioned that were good for digestion and good for gut health? There's also a lot of artificial colors, dyes like red dye number 3, yellow dye number 5, blue dye number 1. They've all been linked to hyperactivity children and other health issues. There's preservatives, chemicals like sodium nitrate in processed meats, sulfates, which are used in dried fruits and wines. They pose health risks, including cancer and respiratory problems. There's other harmful ingredients. I mean, stuff that just ain't good for you. Bromide, it's called brominated vegetable oil. It's used in soft drinks. It's been linked to nervous system damage, right? There's another one. It's called propylene paraben. It's a preservative in baked goods and some beverages, been associated with hormonal disruptions. Titanium dioxide used in baked goods, uh, potential health risks, including cancer. I mean, what I'm saying is the stuff that they're feeding us today, it's not good. And we need to be avoiding it if we can. And the ways to do that is read your labels and know what you're getting. Always check them, right? Choose whole foods that you can. Opt out, get fresh fruits, vegetables, whole grains if we can, and cook at home if we can. So I'll just kind of let it go there. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brother Jeffrey. I do have Queen Sharon. Could you please unmute yourself, please, and proceed with your question or excitement about this, our amazing topic, please?
You're amazing, Sister Dr. Benny. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Brother Jeffrey, Happy New Year. I'm sorry I'm not turning on my camera today, but happy New Year. Happy New Year to everybody. If I haven't said Happy New Year to you yet, I think the first week you keep saying Happy New Year. Anyways, love you guys. I'm excited. I'm excited about everything. Also, very excited to see Brother Jeffrey again. Okay, Brother Jeffrey, here's my question to you. Do you know, is it true that the Indian spice saffron, and saffron? Apparently, if you eat a lot of saffron, you don't get gray hair. Is it true? And if you think about it, look at all our Indian brothers and sisters. How many of them have gray hair?
Well, I'll tell you what, I take daily supplements of saffron.
Gray hair.
Well, I don't have any gray hair. But concerning that specifically, Indian saffron that you're referring to is also known as turmeric or kisar. It's often touted, right, for a lot of health benefits, including the potential to prevent premature graying hair. It says it can. Now, does it do it? There's not a lot of strong scientific evidence for it to conclusively prove it, but the proof's in the pudding, right? You're right. I don't see a lot of gray with the Indians, or maybe there is, and I just don't. I've noticed it, but it is rumored to do that. I mean, that's a real thing. So nobody just made that up. People have looked into that, and they do say that it'll stop premature gray.
Nice, nice. And is it still one of the most expensive spices in the world?
It is, and you've got to be careful too, because some folks they mix it with other stuff, or they cut it, or they do bad things with it. Interestingly, sometimes it's also used in combination with other ingredients like amia, AMIA, which is Indian gooseberry or henna or coconut oil to maintain hair color and promote hair growth. So
Great. Thank you so much. You can see everybody just like hanging off every word you're saying, like gray hair, what? um, What was my other question? Oh, shoot, I had another question for you. Oh, yes. Can you tell us a little bit more about your knowledge on red dye? Now, my understanding is that there's several red dyes. And as we were speaking last week with me, when I was speaking to Sister Jacqueline Warner, I mentioned the red dyes. And I know that they're putting, I can't remember if it's red dye 9 or something, in a lot of candy. And that's one of the most dangerous red dye, I'm told. What do you know about that?
Red dyes, particularly red dye 40, is also known as, it's called Allura, Allura Red AC or something. It's got a weird name, but red dye 40, the these are additives that come from petroleum, believe it or not. They're widely used in processed foods and drinks, and that's what gives those foods and drinks the color. Now, why red dyes are bad? I'm sure you've heard of the increase in hyperactivity in ADHD, right? Studies have shown there's a link between these artificial food dyes, red dye 40, like red dye 40, and this increased hyperactivity in kids, including the ADHD. There's also allergic reactions where some people are experiencing these reactions like hives or asthma or skin irritation because of them. Behavioral changes. When we eat these red dyes and continually take them in, that has been, or the consumption of it has been associated with behavioral changes like depression and irritability and just, you just pissed off at the world, if I can put it that way. Sorry. And other health issues. So, yeah, I mean, it's a real thing. Potential side effects for all these are migraines, digestion problems, allergic reactions, red dye 40 in particular. I mean, cakes, frosting, candies, gum, cereals, yogurt, puddings. If you name it, it's probably in there. Ice cream and popsicles, sports drinks with that red color. Yeah.
And lipstick.
If you want to minimize your exposure to it, it's a good idea to read those food labels, man.
And it's also being put in lipsticks, ladies, red lipstick. They use that red dye 40, I was told. Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to hear you speak.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Back to you, Sister Dr. Mooney. Sorry, Sister Dr. Benny.
Sharon?
She's done.
Oh, okay.
I'm done. Thank you.
Dr. Derek, I heard your voice. Dr. Derek, please.
Peace, blessings, enough, whole heap, plenty, a lot of love to all the kings and queens in the house. Really, really appreciate it. And thank you very much, Queen Debbie McCormick, and also First Lady Queen Dr. Benny, and of course, the mindset with Queen Dr. Tunishai A. Ford. Awesome. Because the only thing we can take care of right now is mindset. We can't do any business right now unless you're doing business on your own by yourself or with some other company. So the only thing, and even if you're doing that, you need a good mindset, because without a good mindset, a lot of people end up committing suicide. That's the far end of the bad mindset. So, mindset is of very, very importance. not only on passive, but in life. You need a good mindset. Thank you very much, King Jeffrey Morlock. Awesome. Now listen, I was blown off of my seat when I saw your topic. That's first. I nearly fell to the ground when Queen Debbie tell me that you want to talk about spices and herbs. I was like, what? Seriously? Then I heard you have a book. Oh my goodness. The link is in the chat and the link is on the flyer. Please click on the link. Um, it is in Amazon and it is very inexpensive. And I think you need to get one. Everyone need to get one of those books. It's very informative. And awesome. I didn't know that you were good like that. Honestly. I was actually blown away by the and he has other books on Amazon. If you click on the link for that one, just click on his name under the book, and you will see, a peripheral of books come up right there, and they are so awesome. I I had to hit myself last night when I was looking through your list of books. It is King Jeffrey. It is awesome. I didn't know you know it like that. Honestly speaking, I really appreciate you. You will have to make a few more appearances here because I don't know if you know, but we are well into health. Actually, every Thursday for the past year, we have been doing all sort of health, especially with Queen Jacqueline Warner, King Joseph, um, doctor, and she's a naturopathic doctor, Dr. Doris. So we are gang ho on health, and so actually, every Thursday, as I said, for the past year, for 2024, we have been dealing with health because listen, we believe also that if you have money and have bad health, it don't make sense. Yes, you'll be able to pay your bill, I guess, but you can't enjoy that money. A person going to dialysis 3 times a week, you can't enjoy your life. You can't enjoy your money. So it is very important, in my estimation, that you are healthy. And the word of God says that God Himself would like us to prosper and be in good health, even as our soul prospers. So even God wants us to prosper and be in good health, because there's no prosperity really with bad health. You need to have good health to prosper, really and truly, properly. All right? And that is why those men back in the Bible days living to 900 plus years old, because they really zoom in on the good health. All right? And so I thank you very much, King Jeffrey Morlock. I have one question for you though. Don't know if you are that far into the health, because that's the next step for me, because I would like to just go everything raw, so to speak. But I know that everything has chemicals, including fruits and vegetable, right? It has some chemical reaction to your body, especially with the different and varied combination of fruits and vegetable. So I don't know how, or if you are versed also, because now my eyes are popped open, um, based on your knowledge. Are you that advance into the aspect of what fruits and vegetable are good combination, especially if you are doing juices, right? Well, I don't do juice as in juicer. I do juice as in blending the things together because I need the roughage. So I don't throw away the trash. I keep everything. So I blend. I have a big 1 horsepower blender that I use. So everything is, liquefied, really literally liquefied. So I don't know, as I said, I don't know if you have any insight on the different fruit and vegetable combination that is best. Over to you.
That's, you know what? A lot of people are going that way, Dr. Derek. I started, uh, the funny thing is, as you progress on your spiritual journey, Miss Dr. Ford was talking about fasting. Incredible. A lot to learn about fasting. And you'd be surprised at what fasting will do for you. So you're right on topic. Eating all raw food. Oh, what I was saying was 2, 3 years ago, I switched over, and over the period of probably 2 months, I stopped eating all meats, and it was all vegetables and fruits. 90% of it was raw, and I was doing it with smoothies, things like that. It was amazing. It still is amazing. I love it. Of course, now I've lightened up a little bit. I actually had, I think for the first time in a year, I had a good beef burger at a nice restaurant. I went, wow, I'd forgotten what this was like. But eating all raw foods has its pros and cons. Now, some of the pros are they're very nutrient rich. Raw foods often have a lot more vitamins and minerals than you might otherwise have if you're cooking them. Enzymes are preserved in raw foods, right? They have natural enzymes that aid digestion and they promote better nutrient absorption. They also have a lower caloric density. They have less calories for you. Many raw foods are a lot lower in calories, and that supports weight management, obviously, and it also reduces the risk of chronic diseases. And obviously, the big one is that's going to give you a lot less. It's going to be reduced intake of processed foods, which are bad for you, right? Raw food diet typically will eliminate processed foods altogether, and those are where you take in the added sugars and the unhealthy fats and the artificial additives. So yeah, there's a lot of pros to what you want to do. Now there's also some cons because when you go completely raw, you've got things, fibers and things like lectins that potentially can be bad for you and create digestive issues. Some people might experience some of those types of problems with certain new foods, some beans or cruciferous vegetables. There's also the potential nutrient deficiencies because excluding or actually eating raw foods, only raw foods, could lead to some deficiencies in essential nutrients like protein or calcium and vitamin B12. So you'd want to take protein supplement. You need protein. So, and it's really tough to get it if you're eating raw vegetables. There are some, beans. There's ways to get it. I do a supplement. I do protein supplements, and it goes right into my shake. There's food safety concerns. Obviously, a higher risk of foodborne illnesses from raw animal products. So if you're getting the raw meat, you want to be careful. And some vegetables, you want to make sure they're washed off good. Uh, Not to mention, you have limited choices. I mean, not everybody can grow everything, and maybe you can't get everything that you want nice and fresh. And I mean, Walmart does a pretty good job, I think, of getting fresh vegetables in there. Just make sure you wash them out. The the thing is, though, you want to have a balanced approach, right? A diet that includes both raw and cooked. That may provide, but excuse me, it's a personal thing. Um, you were talking about, I believe, fruits. No, what else did you want?
The combination. And I am not worried about protein, really. My thing is not protein. I don't have a problem with protein because first of all, I've never heard anyone that suffer from protein deficiency because your body don't need a lot of protein. The hype on the adverts is protein, and so people mindset is a little disturbed on protein. But one, I've never heard anyone suffer from protein deficiency, and two, I have been doing this actually now from 1998, so I am not a newbie. I, I have never gone back to flesh eating because Genesis 1:29 tell you that nuts, grains, fruit, that is meat. Now the other stuff is really flesh, and I have not eaten flesh since 98. So it's a little while now. As I said, my next, so it's more raw than, I eat a little cooked food, especially if I'm at a function somewhere at church, etc., etc. Then um, but my main thing is potato and Irish and yam and dumpling, you know, and those sort of thing. Pumpkin, I eat rice every now and again, but those are my thing. And of course, I do that with, I cook a mean, not for a lot of people, but I cook a mean ackee and cucumber that tastes a lot like ackee and saltfish. You would not believe the difference, really and truly. Just that if you look closely, you'd see that the cucumber is not saltfish. But I've been doing this for a little while. But sometimes and I know because of studying and studying and so on. I know that combinations of fruits and vegetable, some react against the other, some don't work well with each other, etc., etc. That is the next information that I really need of what vegetable to combine with another vegetable to also, and what fruit to combine with other fruits, and then what vegetable that you can combine with fruits and get that going. Thank you.
Okay, I'm very aware of the protein. We need protein to be sure. But when you start talking about protein deficiencies, it's a lot more prevalent in developing countries where they don't have access to the foods we've got. Now, the protein supplements I take are plant-based protein. So that's good for me. I'm good. I'm good with that. When we start talking about how to, fruits and vegetables, they digest differently. My smoothies are either all vegetable or they're all fruit. Sometimes I'll mix if I eat them raw without mixing them together. But you're dead on track. You're spot on. When we're talking about fruits, obviously blueberries, raspberries, blackberries, those kinds of things, just rinse them off and enjoy them. I mean, that's what you do. Citrus fruits, you peel them, you wash them off, you peel them, eat them just like that. Apples, pears, same things, tropical fruits. When you get to vegetables, though, leafy greens, kale, arugula, romaine, lettuces, those are in salads. You can make smoothies out of them. But it sounds to me like 1998, man alive, you go, man. That's impressive. That's awesome. I mean, that's a lifestyle, and that's what I try to tell folks is you can't do this for a week or you want to drop that 30 pounds and keep it on. It's a lifestyle change. It's a lifestyle change, and you're a walking, talking billboard for lifestyle change. Now, obviously, nuts and I keep choking on myself. nuts and seeds and stuff like that. Flax seeds, chia seeds, man, those are great for you. All the fermented foods, very good for you. Sauerkraut, kimchi, very good for you. So yeah, pickles. I mean, absolutely, man. That's in 1998. So you, for 25 years, you've been totally flesh free. I used to tell folks, they're like, "Oh, you're a vegetarian?" I said, "I don't know what I am, but if it's got a face, I don't eat it."
Sorry. See, I have a lot of gadgets to turn off and turn on because I am also streaming and recording and doing everything. And sometimes my voice get a little muddy on Zoom because Zoom is not working too well with me. I can't wait for O-Connect to come back. But anyway, I hope you can hear me properly because sometimes when I'm recording and streaming, it doesn't work out with Zoom when I talk, and that's why I try not to talk a lot. But anyway, yes, I am not a vegetarian. I am because they have too much levels of vegetarianism, and the same thing now for veganism. There's too many different status that being a vegan. It has too many. So I just tell people I don't eat flesh. That's it, right? I eat what God said what to eat, and that is Genesis 1:29. That's what God told us to eat. And that was excluding vegetable at the time because man was created perfect. And after sin, because we don't have access to the tree of life, then we had to eat vegetable. That was how vegetable came into the picture because of sin. So, yes, that's what I eat nuts, grains, fruit, vegetable. All right. And so it has been working for me. And I had asthma, just to let you know. I had asthma when I was a little boy growing. And since 1998 until now, I, I am good to go. Good to go. But as I said over and over on this platform, as you just said, and other platforms that I have been, it's a lifestyle. First Lady Queen Dr. Benny, it's not a 1 week program. It's not a 1 month program. It's a lifestyle, right? And when you get the lifestyle in incorporated in your life, you're good to go. I have more energy today, right? I have more energy today in my 60s. I have more energy today than I was in my 20s. I feel more vigorous and vibrant today more than when I was in my 20s, running up and down and all of that. I feel better today than in my 20s. I don't take a nap. I, I don't reach that stage as yet because is either you're a baby or you're an old person and you take naps during the day. I don't take naps. When I wake up, is it that right until I go to sleep, energized, full of energy, and so even the lifestyle. That's why I don't sit a lot because we weren't really created to sit a lot, and that's why I have an adjustable desk, right? I do sit sometimes, but I adjust the desk and stand up and do my little work. And then, most of the time, I'm standing and then, you sit down for a little. But most of the time, I'm either standing or I'm laying down horizontal to go sleep, right? So those are really the two majority of position, major position that I take. So it's not just one thing; it's a combination of things. I try to hit my bed by 10, 10:30 the latest. Try to Exercise, that's another thing that people don't do. Um, they exercise for maybe like first month or two of the year because of their New Year's resolution. And then for the rest of the year, it's no exercise. I said to people, just do 10 minutes. You don't need to hit 2 hours at the gym. You don't need it, really and truly. You wake up, if you pray, you worship, and you spend 10 minutes right there at your bedside, planking, especially if you're over 40, planking, and get a skipping rope. Skipping rope and planking, I tell is it's lovely. It's lovely, right? So it's a lifestyle. Drink water. People drinking Kool-Aid and they buy grape juice and orange juice. Squeeze the orange. Why you can't squeeze your own orange? You see, we live in a lifestyle where everything is microwave. Everything, you want it now. Squeeze your orange. You know, blend your grape, blend your thing, get your own grape juice. Because they are telling you it's 100% grape juice. I don't know them get 100% and selling it for $2. That don't even make sense. That cannot be grape juice. That's must have dye 29 and some coloring and sugar, right? That don't make no sense. Anyway, I took up too much of the time. Thank you very much. Over back to you.
All right. You have done it, our King, Dr. Derek. Thank you so much. Queen Sharon, we appreciate you. Thank you for your love and support. I just want to thank our King, Brother Jeffrey, Mr. Jeff Morlock. Gonna be handing it over to Queen Debbie, but there was something that you talked about our Cameroon basil. Hey, you know, if you really taste the Cameroon basil, it tastes much better than American basil. I am serious. It smells so good. Well, let me stop it now. Queen Debbie, over to you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Penny. Thank you, Dr. Derek, for your input and everyone who has spoken prior. And at this moment, I want to call on Dr. T. If you could give us your final word, ma'am.
Thank you so very much. Can you all see me okay?
Yes, we
I know it's
can.
everybody's head is cut off. Like
Yeah.
Dr. Derek,
Come
your
back.
head is cut off.
Come back up. Come back. See me?
Yeah, sit
A
You have to
little
kind of
all
be
I
like,
can see is your forehead.
Okay, okay. Can you see me now? Okay.
No,
from
put
your
your
lips
cane for
down,
me.
no.
no, I can't see your lips,
There
man.
you go. Oh,
Bring your
there.
lips up. Ooh.
Okay. Can you see me
Okay.
now?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Because I know a lot of people are cut off. Like Jeffrey, you're cut off. Dr. Derek, your head is cut off. Debbie, I can't see your face at all. I don't know what's going on with the cameras. Okay, no problem. No problem. But before I do my final note, if it's okay with Dr. Derek and Debbie, Queen Debbie, if it's okay if I could just make another announcement about the Step Up program. We have a few people on passive right now who are strongly considering signing up for the program. So I want Queen Tony, if it's okay with you all, to put the website in the chat for those of you who may still be interested. We had our orientation on yesterday. It went very well, and we're gonna start our very first day next Monday. So there's still time for you to register and get involved with this awesome course. All right. So if you don't mind, Tony, putting the website in the chat for those of you who may be interested. And because it's on Zoom, what does that mean? You can come from all over the world, okay, and be a part of the program. We have an AM session that starts from 11 to 2 p.m. and we have a PM session from 6 to 9. So wherever you are, I mean, I just love it. Dr. Derek, I admire you so much. I mean, just like, wow. I'm going like, wow. Wonderful, wonderful. You two are just two awesome, great men, and the discipline that you have, and it just encourages me. And like you said, Dr. Derek, it's not about resolutions. It's a lifestyle. I didn't make any resolutions. I did not make any resolutions. It's about a lifestyle. It's my lifestyle. And that's what I want to do. I want to walk in my purpose. I want to fulfill the calling on my life. And I know that's what you want to do too. I want to live a long time. I don't want to leave here prematurely. And I know that none of you want to leave here prematurely. So in order for us to live out our purpose, we have to first of all stop looking into the past, blaming ourselves for past mistakes. We have to start off by cleansing ourselves with fasting and having a relationship with God, declutter our lives, and I mean that literally, and begin to walk in the gifts and callings that God has given us and understand that it's not about us. It's about God giving us a mandate that glorifies Him and it serves mankind. And when we can start doing just those 5 things, we're on our way to fulfilling our destiny and walking in our purpose. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. T. What an awesome summary of today's mindset. Thank you. Brother Jeffrey, we appreciate you. Boy, and remember, every Thursday, starting from the 16th, you're most welcome, please. Just let me know which one your calendar is open, but would love to hear your final word. Thank you.
You got no real final word except for I want to remind you, Dr. Derek, you mentioned a little bit ago, drink water. That's huge. That flushes your system and keeps everything working right. I drink distilled water. Not everybody does. There are things, if you can get some good water, bottled water, then do that. But even more to that point, if you ever get up and you go to the kitchen, you're like, I want something, but I don't know what I want. You know, open the refrigerator, you look in, you're like, I don't know. That's your body probably saying you want water. You just don't know it. So when you get doing that, drink some water, and you'll probably be good. So just drink lots of water too. Thanks.
Thank you, Brother Jeffrey. And I want to take this opportunity to thank our darling brother, Dr. Derek, because he opened this platform on Thursdays for health because health is life, and we embraced it. And we come every Thursday here to learn how to live our lives healthy on a regular basis. No matter where we are, we can always sign in to listen. And we hope that those who are listening now live and those who are listening YouTube and in the future, they will always join us here on Tuesdays because Dr. Benny comes out on Tuesdays with cybersecurity. That's her specialty. And on Thursdays is the healthy aspect of deep dive. So we are so grateful that our brother Jeffrey is here with us today, and we look forward to seeing him for part 2, part 3, if not more. It was like just touching base of every area that is available out there, and we know there is more to come. So we appreciate you joining us, and we also urge you to join us in other forums that we participate, our sister forums, not just Deep Dive on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We also have Mondays, Mindset Mondays with Queen Miriam Edwards. We have Wednesdays with Queen Julie Pierre, Empowering Humanity. And we also have Sundays with the Dream Team with Dr. Patience Ajangwen. Thursday mornings, we have Singapore and Malaysia. And I think we'll also have some of them, like I saw Kumaran here a little bit earlier. So thank you all. Those are all the platforms that we go to on a daily basis. We take a break only on Saturdays. So I know a lot of people are busy on Fridays in other forums as well. We also have on a daily basis Queen Yvonne Mundi, who has her daily program with on I think it's around noon or 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But you can never go short on where to go to get information about your health or other things that are related to what you are interested in. So thank you once more for joining us. At this time of the day, we're going to move to the next segment of the webinar, which is after party, and that will be handled by our Queen Sister Nadu and Bishop Harold. Thank you once more, and we look forward to seeing you again soon.